Hi and welcome back. In the previous lesson we answered some basic questions related to constructor structure, default constructor and constructor overloading. In this lesson I would like to focus on interview questions related to this and super methods and how to use them correctly in constructors. In order to do that, let's take a look on the code sample on section 3 under Computrade constructor package and open the person.java code. Basically, this code is the same code as in the previous lesson. It has 4 constructors and each one of them has a sys outline in order to help us better understand what is going on. In the main method, I'm activating the 3-argument constructor, and if I run it, we can see the output which indicates which constructor was activated and the number of variables. As you can see, we have 4 constructors and the code is quite repeat on itself. I would like to be more efficient and not copy-paste my code. How can I do it? Well, I can use the this method. For example, I will go to the 3-argument constructor and will call the 2-argument constructor so it will initialize the first name and the last name for me. I see there is a compilation error saying constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor. Okay, so the compiler expected it to be the first line in the code. I will fix it by moving it to the first line. Okay, great, the error disappeared. Let's run the program. Now we see the output. Person 2args constructor, person 3arg constructor. So we can do the same trick in the 1 and 2 arguments constructor. Now if we run the program again, we can see the chain of constructor activation starting from the default constructor and ending with the 3-argument constructor. So we saw that we can use this method with or without parameter in order to call other constructor. We also saw that this method must be the first one in the constructor. Here the interviewer can ask you, do you have an idea why Java enforces it to be the first method in a constructor? The answer to that is that Java wants to be sure that the object was fully constructed before you will do any other additional code in your constructor. Great, we answer another interview question. Let's answer another question. Can I call this from another method? I will try to add this method into the toString method. We can see I'm getting a compilation error saying constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor. So the answer is no. It is not possible to add this method from another method. Let's move on to answer the super related question. In order to do it, I will open the student class. This class extends person, meaning it inherits all the fields and methods from it. In addition, we have here a new field which is degree. For this sample, I have added here 4-argument constructor which initializes the member variable of the student class and its parent class person. If we run this program, we can see that the student was initialized with all the value as expected. But we can see another interesting output. Person default constructor. From where it is coming from? This is coming from the default constructor of the person class that we wrote before. That means that a JVM is first constructing the superclass person before doing any operation on the subclass student. This is an important thing to understand. Okay, nice. And what if I want to call another constructor of the parent class? Well, we have the option to do it by using super method with or without any argument. In our example, let's call the 3-argument super constructor. Here we can see constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor. So the same rule we had for this method apply also to super method. Constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor. I will fix it and run the code. As you can see, the code is running. In the output, we can see that the chain of constructors were activated, starting from the person default constructor and ending with the student 4-argument constructor. Great, so let's sum up. We can use a super method to construct a superclass explicitly from our constructor code. It must be the first line of the constructor. If we are not calling it implicitly, the default super constructor is called by the JVM. By the way, the same as in this, the super method can be used only from a constructor. Trying to use it from another method will result in a compilation error. Okay guys, thank you for listening these 3 constructor lectures. Follow to this lecture, there is a quiz which wrap up all of them. Take your time and answer the quiz. It will help you to know if you understand the lesson well and if you are ready to interview questions. Good luck and see you in the next lecture.